You fasted for 18 hours, fought through hunger, felt proud, disciplined, in control, then one bite ruined everything instantly. Nobody warns you that the biggest fasting mistake happens after the fast, not during it. It's not weakness, not laziness, not a lack of willpower failing you here. It's biology, timing, and hormone most people never think about twice. The moment you break your fast, your body sends a signal that decides everything. Get that signal wrong, and hours of fasting disappear within a few minutes. Get it right, and your energy, hunger, and fat loss completely transform overnight. Most people break their fast with foods they believe are healthy choices. Bananas, oatmeal, smoothies, toast with honey, all labeled clean, natural, wholesome, harmless. But your body doesn't read labels, it only reacts to biological timing. During fasting, insulin slowly drops, allowing your body to finally burn stored fat. At the same time, something dangerous happens. Your insulin sensitivity rises sharply too. Your body becomes extremely reactive, especially the moment carbohydrates enter your bloodstream again. This reaction once helped humans survive famine, scarcity, and unpredictable, dangerous food shortages. Today, that same ancient survival response quietly works completely against your fat loss. Eat carbs first, and blood sugar spikes faster than you could ever imagine. Because sensitivity is high, insulin overreacts, releasing far more than your body needs. Fat burning shuts down almost instantly, and storage mode switches back on immediately. Hours of fasting gone in minutes because of one seemingly innocent food choice. Then comes the crash. Tired, foggy, irritable, and hungry again within 2 hours. This isn't random bad luck, it's a predictable pattern your body always repeats. Eat, spike, crash, crave, eat again. The cycle keeps quietly repeating itself daily. You start blaming yourself, thinking fasting simply isn't working the way it should. But the truth is far simpler, and honestly far more forgivable than you think. Carbs aren't the enemy here. Bananas and oats were never truly the problem. The real issue is timing, eating carbs first right when sensitivity peaks dangerously. Eating the same food later produces a completely different, gentler metabolic response instead. Smoothies make this mistake worse, hiding sugar inside something that feels perfectly healthy. Blending fruit turns solid sugar into liquid sugar, absorbed faster than you'd expect. Liquid carbohydrates skip digestion, hitting your bloodstream at the worst possible moment. You think you're eating smart, but your insulin response tells a different story. Understanding this changes everything because fasting was never really about pure willpower alone. It's about sending the right signal at exactly the right biological moment possible. So what actually happens inside your body during those fasting hours you endure? After 12 to 16 hours, your body stops relying on constant incoming glucose. Stored fat becomes the primary fuel, and your mind often feels sharper too. This clarity isn't random, it's a sign your insulin has finally dropped low. But that low insulin state also makes your body extremely sensitive to sugar. This sensitivity is a survival tool, not a flaw or weakness in you. The problem only begins the moment your first meal ignores this important detail. Carbs at this exact moment force a massive, disproportionate insulin response almost instantly. Fat burning halts immediately, and your metabolism flips back into storage mode fast. Then blood sugar crashes hard, leaving your brain temporarily starved of stable energy. That's why you feel foggy, sluggish, and strangely hungry so soon after eating. It's not poor metabolism, it's simply predictable physiology reacting exactly as expected here. This creates a loop. Eat, crash, hunger returns, you eat again quickly. Each cycle weakens your body's ability to comfortably rely on fat for fuel. Many people respond by fasting longer, unaware the real mistake happens after fasting. Your body isn't broken, it's following ancient programming triggered at the wrong time. Fasting doesn't fail from lack of effort, it fails from one wrong signal. The first meal isn't just food, it's a message your body listens to. send the wrong message, and even 20 hours of fasting loses most impact. This explains something many people quietly experience but rarely understand correctly themselves: the blood sugar roller coaster, a cycle that feels endless, exhausting, and deeply frustrating. It starts innocently, a normal breakfast after a long, disciplined, well-intentioned fasting window. Carbs enter quickly, blood sugar rises, and insulin responds aggressively to control it. For a moment, everything feels fine. Energy returns, hunger disappears, satisfaction feels real. But underneath, insulin clears glucose too efficiently, pushing blood sugar below optimal levels. Your brain notices instantly, since it depends heavily on stable, consistent energy delivery. Fatigue creeps in, focus fades, and that familiar brain fog returns unexpectedly again. Hunger returns fast, often within an hour, feeling urgent, aggressive, and hard to ignore. Unlike normal fasting hunger, this hunger craves sugar specifically, intensely, and almost desperately. Your body wants a rapid fix, so cravings for carbs feel impossible to resist. You eat again, sugar spikes again, insulin surges again, and the cycle repeats itself. Each repetition damages your metabolic flexibility, making fat burning harder with every cycle. Over time, fasting starts feeling exhausting instead of empowering, despite doing everything correctly. Belly fat lingers, energy fluctuates wildly, and food thoughts dominate your entire day. This isn't a fasting failure, it's a signal failure hiding inside your first meal. The good news is this cycle can be broken with one simple correction. Fatigue and cravings aren't proof fasting doesn't work for your specific, unique body. They're signs your blood sugar signals need a much smarter, more intentional approach. Fix that signal, and fasting suddenly feels sustainable, stable, and surprisingly easy to maintain. So how exactly should you break a fast the correct, biologically intelligent way? It's not about eating less or fasting longer than your body truly needs. It's about choosing protein and fat first, before any carbohydrates enter your system. Protein creates fullness without triggering a dramatic, disruptive spike in your blood sugar. It gently activates insulin while also releasing hormones that genuinely signal true fullness. That fullness feels calm and lasting, not urgent, temporary, or artificially forced somehow. Fat plays a supporting role, slowing digestion and preventing sudden insulin overreaction entirely. Together, protein and fat help your body transition smoothly from fasting into eating. Instead of a metabolic shock, your body gently shifts without losing fat-burning momentum. Fasting doesn't truly end when you eat, it ends based on how you eat. This single distinction explains why disciplined fasters still struggle with disappointing, frustrating results. Eggs are the perfect example: high protein, natural fat, minimal disruptive carbohydrates included. Scrambled, fried, or as an omelet, eggs create a remarkably stable metabolic response. Meat, fish, and eggs with avocado all follow this exact same powerful principle. Protein shakes work too, but only when kept simple, clean, and genuinely intentional. Mix protein powder with water or unsweetened almond milk, nothing sweet, nothing sugary. The problem was never the shake, it was turning it into liquid sugar. Carbohydrates aren't forbidden here. Timing simply matters more than most people realize. Add carbs later, once insulin sensitivity settles, and the response becomes noticeably gentler. The exact same banana, eaten later, behaves completely differently inside your metabolic system. Break your fast correctly, and fullness lasts for hours instead of mere minutes. Energy stays steady, cravings fade, and fat loss finally starts moving forward again. This requires no extreme willpower, just a little biological understanding and simple intention. Even here, a sneaky mistake still catches disciplined, well-meaning people off guard easily. The healthy-looking protein smoothie, packed with fruit, honey, milk, and blended oats too. It sounds perfect, scientific, convenient, exactly what a busy, health-conscious person needs. Yet blending carbs into liquid form quietly destroys the benefits you worked for. Liquid sugar skips digestion, entering your bloodstream faster and harder than solid food. This creates an even sharper insulin spike, right when sensitivity is at its peak. Fat burning shuts down quickly, sometimes faster than a plain carbohydrate meal would. People genuinely believe they're doing everything right because it feels clean and intentional. But biology doesn't care about health trends, marketing labels, or good intentions alone. It only responds to how fast and how hard glucose hits your bloodstream. Fullness fades quickly, energy crashes, brain fog returns, and hunger sneaks back fast. Many blame protein or blame fasting itself, missing the real hidden culprit completely. Smoothies aren't evil, they simply belong later once your first meal breaks correctly. Keep your first shake simple: protein, water, maybe a small amount of fat. This one adjustment quietly transforms your entire fasting experience from that point forward. Now imagine finally breaking your fast the right, biologically intelligent, intentional way instead. Fullness lasts 4 to 5 hours, not the usual disappointing 1 or 2. Afternoon energy crashes disappear, and your need for caffeine slowly starts fading away. Mental clarity sharpens, brain fog lifts, and focus feels steady throughout your entire day. Cravings quietly disappear, not because you're forcing discipline, but because biology finally cooperates. Fat loss becomes consistent, not from restriction, but from genuine metabolic stability returning. Your relationship with food changes too, becoming calmer, easier, and far less stressful. Eating stops feeling emotional or chaotic, and instead feels intentional, controlled, and peaceful. This is what happens when your body finally receives the correct, expected signal. Fasting was never meant to feel like punishment, restriction, or constant, relentless struggle. When done correctly, it becomes cooperative, supportive, and genuinely aligned with your biology. So the real reason fasting fails isn't duration, willpower, or personal lack of discipline. It's one overlooked moment, the first bite after your fast finally ends. Your body doesn't operate on moral food labels, only on biological timing and context. The same food eaten differently produces 2 completely different metabolic outcomes entirely. Once you understand this, fasting stops feeling like a battle against your body. It becomes a partnership, working with biology instead of constantly fighting against it. Longer satiety, stable energy, sharper focus, sustainable fat loss, all become suddenly achievable. No extremes, no unnecessary suffering, just one intentional decision made at the right moment. Real transformation doesn't come from controlling your body harder, but understanding it deeper. When you stop fighting biology and start cooperating with it, everything changes completely. Because the goal was never to battle your body, only to finally understand it.